welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Ashley. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and join the beauty family. So today, honey, I am teaching y'all all how to contour and highlight, okay? So if you'd like to see how to contour, highlight, and where to apply your bronzer, keep watching. Hi beauties. So I've been getting a lot of requests in terms of some highlighting, contouring, and where and how to apply your bronzer. So here we are. Once again, thank you all beauties for being so patient. Honestly, this is gonna be a late upload because my allergies were literally tearing me up today. I mean, I couldn't stop sneezing. My nose was a faucet, but I was like, God, please give me some strength, release me from the shackles of allergies. So now I'm feeling much better. So thank you all again for being so patient with me. I appreciate it. So let's get the ball rolling, honey, and back to these uploads. So yes, let's get started on this highlighting and contouring tip. So first things first, I already applied my base. If you wanted to color correct, you definitely should have done that before your base. So as you all know, I don't really have dark circles under my under eye. I do like to use a concealer closer to my skin complexion because when you go too bright with your concealer, it often leaves a gray cast underneath your under eye, and that just means it's too bright. So I like to layer with something close and then go up if I want to go brighter. But today we are just going in with one concealer, honey. So we are going with the Urban Decay. This is their Stay Naked Quickie up to 24-hour multi-use concealer, and this is in the shade 70NN. If you have not checked out my review on this, please do so, honey. This concealer is thebomb.com. You want to understand your face shape. So I have more of a longer, more of like an oval, longer face. So when I'm contouring, I always want to aim up high because your cheekbones are high up, not low down. Because when you do make them low, then it's going to create your cheekbones to look lower, and we want to look high and sculpted, honey, okay? We want the cheekbones to touch the gates of heaven. So now let's go in with some concealer. Now I do conceal like 2016, and I don't care, it works for me. So I just start. So this concealer is very full coverage, and it just covers everything for me, so I don't need to color correct with this. So I really just go straight in, and I have no issues, no gray cast, none of that stuff. I will say they ate when they created this formula. It is so bomb. So then I do have a larger forehead, okay? I got a lot on my mind, so I tend not to highlight too much because, again, where we are highlighting is where the light is going to hit our face the most, and like I said, I already have a lot on my mind, so I don't want to have more on my mind. So I just highlight very minimal, and then you're gonna hit the bridge of your nose. Sometimes I usually do this with my sponge. I don't really highlight my nose too much, mainly because my nose starts to get oily, and it just, too much product on my nose for me just doesn't work. So I just highlight my chin just a little bit. Now in terms of contouring, so this is a matte concealer, so it is going to dry down quickly, so I'm trying to work quick. This is also where I'm going to apply my bronzer as well. So you want to aim it towards right where your ear is, but higher up. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of concealer here. So my cream contour is going to go on top of that, and I'm gonna apply it on this side too, just to make it a little bit sharper, to make it more chiseled. I think I might have 2 seconds before this concealer dries. So now I'm gonna go in with my Makeup by Mario. This is his Soft Sculpt in Dark Deep. So now for contouring. So remember where I told you all where I added that concealer? We are just gonna do a swipe of that contour right on top. So we are going to use this to create depth and shadow, so it's going to give the illusion of a cheekbone, although it's not there. So that's why the undertones of your contour sticks are very important. So you want to make sure it has more of a neutral tone. Some people do use warm, it really depends on you also, but I prefer something that's not too warm to give me the look that I'm achieving, because again, I use my bronzer for the warm. And yes, I added some on my forehead because, like I said, I got a lot on my mind. So we want to blend that out. So now let's blend out this concealer. So since this concealer does dry down quickly, we're just gonna go in and just start blending it all the way out. So you just want to make sure that you are pouncing that beauty blender that is damp, not soaking wet, right under your under eye, and it is blending out to give you the color and the look that you are looking to achieve. Do the same to the other side. I tell you, I'm obsessed with this concealer because you do not need to color correct, and this is a brighter shade. So as you can see, do you see how that brightness is just settling right under here? So we want to make sure that we also keep that in the center. That's why I do not add too much concealer on my forehead, because it's going to be drawing a lot of attention. This is where the light is going to be hitting the face. And let's get this chin, honey. I also use the leftovers and just drag it across my lip, the top of my lip. And I am bringing that concealer up and then hitting the top of my nose. And I am just blending right underneath that cream contour. There will still be product on my sponge, so I can still go back and cut that cream contour just to make sure it's a little bit sharper, just to make sure it's creating that definition. So now that we have blended out that concealer, now we can go in and blend out this cream contour. I like to go in with the dual fiber brush. It's a mixture of a brush and bristles that blend out cream products flawlessly. So I'm just blending out the chin. So wherever also where we are cream contouring, we're creating that shadow, as I said, and creating, sculpting the face. So when we are applying it down here, it's creating a shadow. So that jawline gonna be snatched, honey, okay? So yes, now we are blending the forehead. I like to swirl and just bring it down into that highlight, as I said, because we're trying to give the illusion of a smaller forehead, okay? A little bit less of a thought. But listen, I love all my features, honey, okay? This is the way the Lord made me, honey. But you know, we want to just add a little razzle dazzle, okay? We're not ruining the craftsmanship. So just bringing this down. So as you can see now, you only see the brightness from my lights right here. And then now that you see the contouring, it's creating that shadow and it's bringing it down. So it's just that sculpting coming together. So if you're ever sometimes confused, you can always go by the number 3. So 1, 2. So essentially that's how you should be contouring. This is the number 3. So this is done. Now we're going to go with the cheekbones. So I like to blend upwards just to make sure, as I said, because the cheekbones are not low down, they're high up. And I just like to blend and bring it a little bit to the center of my cheeks. So look at how that's looking. So you see when I applied that concealer, how it's like chiseling that out. Yes, we love for sculpted cheekbones. I was not blessed with sculpted cheekbones, but that's why we have makeup, right? Because we can create that. So I am just doing the same to the other side, just blending upwards towards my eyes. Always high up, never low down. If you ever feel like you might have blended out your contour too much, your cream contour, just go in with the beauty blender that you use your concealer with, and you can go right back in and chisel that out. And it'll create that illusion. So now you all can see. So the center of my face is looking brighter, and then the outside of my face is looking more sculpted. Now, when we are dealing with creams, honey, I love to set my creams with a powder. So now this is when we're going in with our powder, and our powder to set the concealer and our bronzer to set the cream contour. So let me just go in with some of my face products. So I'm not going to go in with you know what? Maybe I should go in with I'm going to go in with a brighter powder so y'all can see the difference. So to set this lovely concealer, I'm going to go with Dominique's Cosmetics. This is their translucent setting powder. This is thebomb.com. If you have not tried it, please do so. I'm just going back in just to make sure there is no creasing. I do have fine under eye lines, so I just like to make sure that the product is blended under my under eye. So as always, you know, I apply the powder on the back of my hand just to make sure that we do not apply too much product. And now I'm just going in and I'm pressing this powder right on top of that concealer. And I'm just making sure that I'm pushing it right in so you can see how this sets flawlessly. This powder is bomb. Okay, Dominique girl, you ate. So just going in on the other side and applying and setting. So you always want to go in with a minimal amount because you don't want to apply too much. Now, me personally, my skin is funny. I'm combo, I get oily, then if I apply too much powder or sometimes too much products, then you know it kind of just gets a little texturized. So I always like to go in and add a minimal amount, and then I just like to set with a pressed powder. So now we're setting all the areas that we applied the concealer. So this means that, oh Lord, see the algae are coming down, y'all. One second. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of that powder that's left over from my sponge right where I set my forehead. So now you can see the areas that I set that concealer. So once again, that's why people tend to use a brighter powder. If you are a dark chocolate melanin goddess, that's fine. You can always mix. Even I mix for my clients as well. One thing I will say, I don't like powders that have like a yellow or golden tone, because sometimes I just feel like it just does not look good, especially if you have like a red undertone. So I like to mix like a translucent and a medium deep to get that perfect match, and I feel like it's right in the middle for everyone. I use that same method on my clients. I don't have any other powders other than translucent or a medium deep powder. I'm not doing Sasha Buttercup powder, please. No, none of those, because like I said, it just is not for all skin tones. These two shades for me personally work well for everybody that I've worked with. And even if this might be a little bit too bright, if you're deeper, I still set it and then I just go over the top, or I go in with a pressed powder that's closer to the complexion just to set it, but always with a dark deep powder. So let's set the face with a face powder. To set the face, I'm going with Sephora collection, honey. This is the Micro Smooth powder in 65 Toffee. I am setting the face before I go in and apply my bronzer to set the cream contour, and it's fine. So I also just add this right where I highlighted also, just to set it. It's fine if you get a little bit on your cream contour because it's going to be bronzed, but this is just adding some more color back to the face and also making sure that everything is blended. And it just adds like that flawlessness. It's that Micro Smooth powder. It's so stunning. So as you all can see, it's coming together. It's coming together. So now let's bronze. I'm gonna use a bronzer that's in stock, okay, because I know it's a little tough. Let me dip into my stash. By the way, forgive me y'all if my nose is peeling. So I'm going to go in with my Jaclyn Hill bronzer, the Sun Bathe Press Bronzer in Poolside. Now this is what she looks like. Stunning, stunning, stunning. Now let's get to bronzing. So I'm gonna go in with my bronzer brush. So I'm using more of like an angled brush. So you can use this or a fluffy brush. I'll go in with both just so you can kind of see the difference. So I am tapping that in the product like so. Just tapping off the excess. Now right where we applied the cream contour is right where we're going to apply the bronzer. So we're going to be setting that cream with the powder, as I said. Creams always get set with a powder. So you always want to start back here first, because where you apply the product is where you're going to get the most color payoff. The same thing applies for when you apply your eyeshadow. If you swipe black and then you start here, honey, that is going to be where the blackest part of your eyelid is going to be. So you always want to start back here, and if your hair is up, you always want to catch your ears. So add some of the foundation from your foundation brush and just swirl it on your ears and around in this neck area, because honey, it would tell a story, okay, and you're gonna be the main character. So we're gonna start right back here, and I just like to stamp, and sometimes I like to swirl, but we always want to keep it upwards because, as I said, honey, our cheekbones are high up, not low down. So we're gonna keep it right here, right above, and always, so that concealer that I applied underneath the cream contour could always be used as a guide, so you know, okay, don't go below that, because it's keeping it right there. And then the same for the forehead. I am just swirling it. Now you always want to do this with a lighter hand, not a heavy hand, so you want to hold the brush right in the center. It's right in between. So you see this side in comparison to this side, it's coming together. So again, right back here where the ears are, we are just stamping and sweeping upwards, and then we're gonna hit that jawline, just sweeping back and forth. So you see how it's all coming together. It is looking snatched. So now you can see the clear definition in terms of like my cheekbones. So if I turn to the side and get like a nice side profile pic, you're gonna see like, oh honey, she's giving cheekbone. So that's the purpose of putting your cream contour up higher, and again also cutting it with a little bit of the concealer that you use under your under eye, just to sharpen it up and give it some definition. So here we are, just using the last finishing touches. You could just do some swirling with a light hand. I'm going to show y'all how to swirl with a brush, so I'm just going in with a brush that I use the same bronzer with and just tapping the excess, and I'm just with a light hand swirling it. And you want to hit it with an angle right where you set that cream contour. So this is just going to deposit some more color. So same effect, it just covers a little bit more circumference. So to set the under eye, I'm just going with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless powder that has been through it, honey, in shade number 3. We hit pan, she tired, okay? So I'm just going to swirl my sponge in there, pick up some product, and I'm just going to set that under eye once again with some pressed powder. This makes it look so flawless. Under your under eye, I actually want to get another one of number 3 and number 2. And you know, I just kind of hit the same areas a little bit, but I mainly focus it under the under eye. Now, I usually do not do this on camera, but I'm going to show you how I contour my nose with some powder, because we are contouring. I usually do it off camera because it's just quick for me. Now, I will say this is not the same process for everyone. Sometimes you might not bring it from your brow down. So everyone's face shape is going to be different. You are going to have to assess based on the shape of your face, where your cheekbones are, what your features are, your jawline. It's going to be a little bit different. But so for me, so whenever you see me do my brows, you'll see like a box in the front. But whenever it's finished, honey, the box disappears. I leave it like that because I do blend it into my nose contour. So I'm going with my Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer in Mahogany. Now, I've had this for a minute. I actually got this for $10 at TJ Maxx. And honey, I think she's like $28. Can we say steal? It was a steal. I'm just going in with a flat brush, a flat fluffy brush that kind of has like that dome look to the top. It's flat. So I'm just gonna go in and add a little bit of powder, tap that off. And I like to get in close to the mirror. My nose peeling again. Y'all, I'm telling you, these allergies are something else. So I do like to get in close when I do this. And I start at the front and I swirl and drag it. Brush out and drag. Brush out and drag. And then I do the same to the other side. Swirl and drag. Brush out and drag, brush out and drag. And then I just kind of go back and forth just to make sure I have like the sculpted look I was going for. I am just going to once again just set my face a little bit more with my Sephora collection powder, just to make sure everything is blended and seamless. Ooh, let's go with a fun blush today. Let's go in with Dragon Fruit Days. This is from House Labs. I also did a review on this. Stunning. Okay, so this is probably going to be a mixture of some reddish brown blushes, but I apply it right here. I know everybody applies their blush differently. You can do what's best and what's most comfortable for you, but I smile and then I just tap it. I kind of bring it close to my contour, and then they kind of just become one. And I just lightly add it until I get the look that I'm going for. Let's add a nose highlight. Y'all should have already know the deal. Rare Beauty, honey. Let's highlight this nose. I do need some bottom mascara, so I did not forget that. And I just like to add sometimes like in the center, as you all see when I usually do my face. But look at how that's all coming together. It looks stunning. Let me try a little bit of a new lip combo. I don't know where this lip combo is going, but let's see where she takes me. I'm going to line with Charlotte Tilbury's Lip Cheat in Hollywood Honey. I'm gonna go in and add a little bit of Molasses, the Sephora collection liner, just on the outskirts. And I'm going to go in with Honey Love Lipstick by MAC. Ooh, she's cute. This lip is cute. So let's add, let me add one of my Tower 28 gloss. You know what? Let me finish my bottom mascara and then add the gloss. Alrighty, so now let's add a gloss. So I'm going in with Tower 28. This is their Shine On Lip Jelly in Pistachio. These glosses are the bee's knees. Just gonna add a little bit. So beauties, thank you so much for tuning into this highlight contouring tell all. I hope you all learned a lot. Thank you all so much for tuning in. All the details will be listed down below. And as always, beauties, if you have any questions, please let me know down below. As always, beauties, thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you in my next one. Thanks for watching.